Ladies and people, I'm a little bit tired today, so this is going to be a casual hangout, but we're going to go into a very sort of deep concept on how you can build your own community or, YouTube channel or blog, or if you want to be a coach like I am, how you can basically follow in my footsteps. I had this question on my YouTube channel from a guy called Paul Masters, who says, "Hey Andy, what would you recommend is the best way to grow for someone who is just starting a YouTube and has a few clients that he's coaching for free?" So as I said, I'm a little bit tired and this is going to be a little bit messy in a fun way. So I'm just kind of going to throw out some ideas as they come to me of how I have built, my audience, how I've built this community. And I'm not saying that this is the best way to do things. This is just what's worked for me. There might be a million other ways that you can do things. They might be infinitely better than what I've done. This is just what I've done. So if you're someone that has a YouTube channel, like in this guy's case, the very first thing that I would say is use your YouTube to give as much value as you possibly can. That's not a concept that I came up with. Millions of other entrepreneurs say exactly that. That's essentially how you make money. I'm assuming this guy wants to make money. That's how you make money. You give value. Money is just an exchange of value. Someone handing you money is them admitting, hey, either you have given me value or I believe you're going to give me value, so here's my money. That's all money is. It's an exchange of value. It's a monetary template. I don't know, my brain's not fucking working. I'm tired. It's a proxy for saying, hey, you've given me value. And so I would focus more than anything on just giving as much value as you possibly can. What do I mean by that? If you are someone who's, like in this guy's case, coaching people or wanting to coach people, help them as much as you possibly humanly can. Give them everything you possibly can. If you're an entertainment YouTube channel, make them fucking laugh as much as you possibly can. Pour as much effort and energy and all of that sort of stuff into making the best possible damn content that you possibly can. You're trying to give as much as you can so that then you're not doing it just for this. You're giving because it feels amazing to give, but it has the nice bonus side effect of then people give back to you. So I got this concept. Probably the first person that ever really drilled it into my head was Chris from Good Looking Loser, who in a couple of his articles said, if you want to start a blog or if you want to sort of do content, give away as much as you possibly can for free. Help people as much as you possibly can. In my case, it's the massive Tinder guide that I wrote, which is 130,000 words. That bloody thing took me like 9 months to a year to write. I gave that away for free. My massive depression article on how to beat depression, free. All of the guides that I've done, the really big guide of like how to make friends, how to deal with performance anxiety in the bedroom. I could list 50 articles that I've done that are just massive. And on top of that, I think at this point I've written something like 400 articles. There's like 1,000 plus YouTube videos / Spotify podcasts. There's a lot of content there. There's getting towards like 2,000 pieces of content, all free. If you give away as much as you possibly can, I found that comes back in spades. You don't really have to do marketing. You don't really have to beg people to sign up for your coaching. A lot of the time, you don't even have to really do any sort of, closing techniques, as people would say. You just jump on a phone call with someone. You say, yo, hey, do you want to do coaching with me? They say, sure. Here's 1 or 2 things that I might need to solve, like how do I get the money or what time are the coaching calls? And I will sign up. So I've found that giving as much value as I possibly can is absolutely, at least for me, that's been the absolute number one thing that I've done to build all of this. And you'll find if you go through most, entrepreneurs who've done really well, it's because they give value. If you look at all the richest people on the planet, let's just pick Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. Both of them, despite, some people say, oh, I don't like Amazon, I don't like the way he runs things, blah, 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 blah. You can't argue with the fact that he's given an insane amount of value. Look at the website that is Amazon. You can go on there and buy literally anything and have it at your door, a lot of the time, the next fucking day. That's incredible value. That's insane. The reason he's so rich is because people say that's worth a lot to us. Let's give him money. The same as, Apple, the same as any big company, Elon Musk, doing crazy shit with Tesla, doing crazy shit with SpaceX, all of the companies that he's founded, PayPal, OpenAI, stuff like that. That's value. And so that comes back in the form of money. So if you want to make money, and more to the point, if you want to help people, which I would assume is the reason you're doing this, if not, coaching is not the fucking way I would tell any of you to earn money. If any of you just want money, don't be a fucking coach. Do not be a coach. It is not necessarily the easiest way to make money. It's ridiculously challenging. It's a slow grind. It's a very organic thing, as in you have to actually improve people's lives in order for more people to keep coming in and for referrals and for people to give you good testimonials. It's not a like easy, quick way to make money. This is not the way that I would recommend any of you make money. Like, absolutely not. This is probably the last thing I would ever recommend. However, if you come to me, you know, like this guy has with his question, hey, I've already got a few clients, I'm already coaching, then yes, I will absolutely push you and give you advice. And, you know, I've had a few coaching clients in my coaching program who I've helped start their own coaching business. So if it's something you care about, absolutely go for it. It is so incredibly rewarding. You wake up every day and it feels absolutely beautiful, but I'm not going to tell you that it's easy. It's not suffering. It's not like painful or something, but it's not easy. There are a million easier ways to make money. You know, write a book, start a service business. What I mean by that is go mow people's lawns. You can start basically for free. For the cost of a lawnmower, you can go and start mowing people's lawns. Start really low, you know, charge them like 10 or 15 bucks to mow their lawn. Slowly put that up as you buy more equipment, as you do a better job, as you buy uniform and a van and all of that sort of stuff. You can slowly scale the business. You could also clean driveways. I have friends who just do like house cleaning and they just have bought a team. They've paid for a team of people. They've eventually expanded up till they have a team of people that go and clean these houses. So all they're doing is managing the business. There's a million easier ways to make money. Coaching is not the way that I would recommend it. However, now that I've said all of that, for a lot of you or for some of you, you will have this need to help other people, to change their lives, to improve their lives in any way you can, to give as much as you possibly can. I obviously have that need. That's why I do this. That's not something I can turn off. That's not something I would want to turn off. So for me, it's like there was no consideration of like, do I want to help people or not? It's like, I'm going to help people no matter what. For me, getting paid for it was something that happened maybe 2 years after I'd been writing my website, and I'd already been helping people on the Good Looking Loser forums before that. So I'd already been coaching and mentoring people for probably 3 years at that point. The money was something that I never even considered. I didn't realize that I could make money from it until probably 2 years into it, and it took even longer to be able to pay the bills. So yeah, you get into something like this because you want to. So anyway, so the first piece of advice that I would give, the second, I should say. The first is give as much value as you possibly can. The second is get testimonials from your clients. Now, video interviews are best, but what you want to do is basically help them as much as you possibly can, change their lives, give value, do a good job, all of that. And it's okay if you suck at coaching at the start. Let's be very honest. You know, in this guy's case, he's doing it for free, which is what I did. I think I had like one client for free, and then I think the first paid client was like $20. So, you know, you're starting nice and cheap. That's great. You'll improve over time. But I would start getting testimonials from people, even if that's just like one paragraph where they say like, hey, you changed my life. And then you read that out on a YouTube video or put it on your coaching page or a blog, you know, have a screenshot. Even better is if you can get them on the podcast or on your YouTube channel to do an actual interview. I have obviously done this myself quite a few times. And if you go to my coaching page, I'll show it on the screen. This is my coaching page. You know, look, I've got an interview here with Ed. I've got one with Renee. I've got, you know, just a buttload of interviews here. You can just scroll down. There's like lots of interviews. And obviously this is something that I've built up. And there should be even more down the bottom of the page. See, I've got screenshots from people, more screenshots, more videos, more interviews, more screenshots. So plenty of stuff on there. But bear in mind that I've built that up over a couple of years at this point. So at the start, all I really had was a couple of screenshots from people saying like, hey, Andy really helped me. And I would just stick those on the coaching page, or in this guy's case, or in any of your cases who have a YouTube channel, read them out on the actual, on your channel. And don't just read them out, right? Like if you go and watch any of my interviews, and they're all on my YouTube channel, I have a playlist of them. If you watch them, you'll notice that it's not just like, oh, hey, Andy helped me with coaching. Oh my God, he's so great. Oh my God, sign up for coaching. It's not like a marketing thing. Now, it has a nice side effect of being a marketing thing, but what you want to do is give value in those videos as well. And so if you go and watch my video testimonials, or I call them interviews, I don't even call them testimonials. The interviews that I do with my old coaching clients, you'll see that we spend the entire time going like, what were your, limiting beliefs? How did you overcome them? If someone's in the same situation as you, how can they overcome it? What advice would you give to someone who's suffering like you were before you signed up for coaching? You learned blah, 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 the value of socializing. If someone's really struggling with socializing, how would you help them? Make the whole video very informative and helpful and useful. It's not just you jerking yourself off over how good a coach you are. People will see through that, and it's not helpful. I don't understand why you'd ever just do a testimonial to jerk yourself off. No, you can give value in that piece of content as well. Again, at the start, your testimonials are not going to be that mind-blowing because you haven't been coaching for long enough. And so not only are you not, competent at coaching yet, it's more the point your clients haven't had enough time to do amazing things yet. And so even if you've done like 10 calls with them, 10 calls is like, when you're at the start, when you're a coach at the start, you're probably not going to change someone's life in 10 calls. At the point that I'm at, yeah, you can make incredible progress in 10 weeks because I've been doing this for years. I know how to push someone. I know how to screen for the people that are very serious. That's another thing that we can talk about in a second. I screen for only the guys that are absolutely ready or like close to ready. Maybe they need a little pep talk or something, but they're pretty much ready to change their life. And the amount of money that I charge, if you're not familiar, at the moment, my group coaching is $7,000 for 3 months. That's like a barrier to entry. If you're paying $7,000, like, you're pretty fucking serious about changing your life. And so if you're at the start of coaching and you're only charging people, $0, you're doing it for free, you're going to get people that are less serious, right? Because we don't necessarily value something that's free as much as we value something that's $7,000, right? So at the start, your testimonials might not be that exciting. They might not be that mind-blowing because the clients probably aren't going to hustle as much as they will later on. You will meet some clients who just go above and beyond what you expect, and those make the most amazing interviews and testimonials. But at the start, it's okay if most of your testimonials are just, yeah, this coach kind of helped me a little bit and he got my mindset right, or he helped me with my headspace, or he helped me write a budget, or he helped me wake up 2 hours earlier than I could before. Be humble enough to be okay with those little, or to really be grateful for those little testimonials. At the start, those meant so much to me, and you slowly build those up to the point where, yeah, your testimonials or your interviews are, this guy legitimately changed his fucking life. Like, I changed my life. Holy shit. I can't even imagine where I'd be if I didn't sign up for coaching. That's kind of something you build up to. And again, and I'm going to keep repeating this throughout this entire video, give value above all else. If you take nothing else away from this video, any of you who want to build a coaching business or any business or a YouTube channel or goddamn, just even build something meaningful with women or build friendships, focus on giving as much as you possibly can. Give as much value as you can. Be there for people. Help them as much as you can. Obviously, don't neglect yourself. I'll make that very clear. Give to yourself first. Make sure your needs or your desires are met, but give as much as you possibly can to other people as well. Next thing that I will say, it's probably the third most important thing, it's probably the second most important thing actually. Bang out a bunch of content and some of it will be gold. So I did a video, an article called exactly that. Pump out a ton of content and some of it will be gold. That's on my website. And what I talk about in here is you want to just pump out as much content as you possibly can. If that's YouTube, just do as many YouTube videos as you possibly can. Like 1 a day would be amazing. Even more would be even better. Pump out a blog article every single day. Just put out as much content as you possibly can. And don't even expect that it will all be amazing. That's kind of the point that I made in this article, right? Like, it's not all going to be absolute gold. This video that I'm doing right now, this might not be gold. This is me at probably my worst. I'm tired as hell. I don't particularly feel like sitting down to do a video, but I'm showing up here anyway because I know if I just show up here today, there's a small chance that this will be useful to someone. There's a small chance that this helps someone. There's a small chance that this means someone signs up for coaching and I can help them change their life and I can pay my bills. So showing up and just doing a bit of content every single day is absolutely, like I said, probably the second most important thing. So number one would be give as much value as you possibly can. Number two is just give yourself permission to suck and just do a ton of content. Like I said, I think at this point I have something like 2,000 pieces of content. I have done a lot of content over the last like 3 or so years. One thing you can do is something called a 365-day project, which is where you do a piece of content every single day. And so if you go on my channel, on my YouTube channel, just search for 365-day project. And in this video here, I talk about why I recommend doing a 365-day project. It's basically doing something every single day. I talk about the value of it, how it can help you grow your portfolio, the amazing thing that it's sort of led to for me. At this point in my life, I've done 3 365-day projects. I've done a photography one. I'll pull that up on the screen in a second so you can have a look at that. I did a Spotify podcast one like a year ago, I think, and I just did, a podcast every single day. And at this point in time, I am, I believe, 100 and something days. Yeah, 120 days into another 365-day project where I'm doing any piece of content. So it can be an article, YouTube video, a short, a podcast, a photo, anything. I'm just doing one piece of content every single day for a year. So again, go and watch that video. You have a look at the photography one I did. If you want to look at this, just go to handyandypandy.com/365. And you can have a look at all the photos I did. I put lots of effort into them, did one a day, was a ton of fun, and it absolutely gave me so much confidence as a photographer. It really, 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 really did. And so if you're focusing on doing a YouTube video every single day, you are going to become very, very, very proficient at producing content. You really, really will. So I would focus on banging out as much content as you can, aiming to give value on every single one. A little caveat or a little extra tip that I can add in there is I focus on being positive in every single piece of content that I do. I try not to complain. If I say something negative, I will make sure there's a positive takeaway in the video. I will never just do a completely negative video. You won't find a piece of content on my channel that's negative the entire time and it has nothing positive to say. Even when we were in the lockdowns and I was super depressed and I had a day where I was suicidal, I did a podcast with Imogen where we were basically just expressing our unhappiness and our depression. And at the end of the podcast, I said, all right, okay, and now here's the takeaway message. Here's what we're doing to make sure we pull ourselves out of this depression. Here's how you can pull yourself out too. So even in a very unhappy, depressed video, I still made sure it was positive. It had a positive message at the end. People might not remember people might not remember what you say, but they will remember how you made them feel. And if you build a YouTube channel or you build content or you build, a coaching program based on drama, negativity, bitching about other content creators, starting arguments with other people, like all of that kind of stuff, just negativity, people remember that and they associate you with negativity. Again, they might not remember what you said, but they will remember the feeling. If you focus on positivity in your content, people come to you to feel better. That's what you're offering when you're a coach. You're saying, hey, I want to make you feel better. People will remember that. And you're like a vestige, I don't know if that's the right word, but you're like an oasis in the desert. A lot of the internet can be a little bit drama focused, a little bit negative, a little bit unhappy, because that gets views, that gets clicks. If you're the oasis in the desert, if you're the one that's as positive as you possibly can be, and you don't have to be perfect. This is me not super positive, by the way. Like really don't feel like being here today. This is not the best of me, but I'm still being positive, aren't I? I'm still trying to be as happy as I possibly can. I'm still giving as much value as I possibly can. So people will remember that. They'll come to you and they'll go, I know if I watch a video by this content creator, I'm not going to feel negative. It doesn't even really matter what he talks about. I know I'm going to feel motivated or uplifted or good. Other positive content creators I could mention would be someone like Jocko Willink, Mark Manson. Who else is pretty positive? Those are the two. Alex Hormozi is a pretty good one. Good Looking Loser was always pretty fucking positive. I guess that's where I got most of the positivity from. It was just watching him and how he was positive in every single piece of content. And even if he ever had anything negative to say, he would make sure the point of the article was positive. So there are plenty of positive content creators out there. And when you think about them, you know that their channel is a safe bet if you're having a bad day. In fact, you will often go to their channel to feel better. And if you can be that person who's positive, and again, you don't have to be perfect. Today, I'm not perfect, but you just do your best every day. And if you can associate yourself with positivity, people want to come to you. Another thing I would recommend is YouTube Shorts. This is something that I've been playing around with a little bit more recently. So YouTube Shorts, here's some of the shorts that I've done recently. Some of them have done fairly decently. You know, this one like 2,000 views, 1,500, 1,500, 1,500. YouTube Shorts need to be 1 minute or less than 1 minute, in length. I'll leave the rest of the details up to you, but I prefer to actually make a proper short. What I mean by that is rather than just clipping part of a full video, which I've experimented with that. If you scroll down the bottom, some of them are that, like this one here. Some of these are just clips from full videos. But at this point, all of these videos are like full on, what would you call it? Like custom made videos. Like I have custom recorded, I've written a little script, I've read it out, I've edited it, I've made like an actual video. And those are the ones that seem to do the best. And it's a fun format because you got 1 minute to try and change someone's life. It's actually really fun. I kind of like the format. It's a really nice challenge as opposed to my usual videos where I sort of talk for an hour or so. I like the challenge of it. And because they tend to do really well, or they tend to get shown to a lot more people than your normal videos will, they bring in a lot more people than you would otherwise expect. So at the moment, I'm finding, and I've only really been playing around with YouTube Shorts for maybe the last 2 or 3 months, maybe the last 3 months, I'm finding that when I make a few shorts a month, I'm not even making a lot at this point. I'm making maybe 10 shorts a month, maybe 5 shorts a month. Yeah, it's probably between 5 and 10. I bring in about triple the amount of new subscribers. So some of my coaching clients who are making content and building their own business, I've told them the same thing. They've made a few shorts and their shorts have blown the fuck up and brought them like way more subscribers. Like we're talking like 5 times as many subscribers as just making full videos. And in the YouTube analytics section in your YouTube account, you can see how many new subscribers come from which particular video. And you'll see that shorts do really, really, really well. So I really recommend, if you're not already, play around with shorts. They're also, like I said, really fun to make. It's nice and short, pun intended. 1 minute is a fun little, it's a nice challenge to try and change someone's life and give value. And like I said, they are shown to new people. So be okay with some of them getting ridiculously downvoted. Even videos that you thought were super positive, they almost get downvoted because they're positive. Like if you do a video saying like, hey, you can change your life. Here's 5 ways you can change your life today. Those might get like 25% downvotes because they're being shown to like everyone. And some people will see that and be like, fuck you, my life sucks. Don't tell me that I can change it. Downvote. And so be okay with them. Like don't look at the downvote ratio. I've had some videos that have gotten like 75% downvotes. And by the way, my normal videos, my full, like this video, full length videos, God, like if I ever get 1 downvote, that's surprising. Most of my videos have 100% upvotes. You guys are ridiculously nice. This community is ridiculously nice. So yeah, it's a good thing that they're getting downvoted because it means that they're being shown to new people who otherwise wouldn't see your content. So I really recommend shorts. Another thing that I have done is I have shared a ton of my content on Reddit. I should say my girlfriend Imogen has shared a ton of my content on Reddit. She's always handled all the marketing and stuff like that. So sharing your content on Reddit, she shared it on self-improvement subreddits. She shared it on the Red Pill. She shared it on quite a few little subreddits. That has helped a hell of a lot with bringing new people to my blog. But just bear in mind, if you're only doing YouTube content, you can't really share those on Reddit. Most subreddits have rules against just sharing a full video. They prefer you to write a post. So if you do want to share your YouTube videos, I would write a post to go along with the video, like giving even extra content. Don't just summarize the video, like write an actual full-on post and then also at the end say, and I have a video where I talk about this more. Just bear in mind that even if you do that, certain subreddits don't like that because they don't like any self-promotion, like any promotion of yourself. And so what Imi has always done when we've shared on Reddit is she will just take a full article that I've written on my website She will remove any mentions of coaching, any mentions of anything paid, because Reddit really doesn't like that stuff. Any links back to my website, she will remove. Any mentions of my forums, she will remove. And she will just have the full-on blog article with no links in it, just the text. And she'll post that on Reddit. And then what you do is in your profile, like in your bio, you have a link to your main website. And that's the way that you share stuff on Reddit. So you can't be going on there and posting links. You'll get banned within a day. Like, you need to be just posting the full article. So again, if you're doing YouTube content, maybe don't use Reddit as much. There are other ways you can use Reddit still. Like I said, you can just write a post to go along with your video. But yeah, that's something that's really, really, really helped us. Another thing you can do is to do collaborations with other people. So you would go on somebody else's podcast, or you would have them on your YouTube channel. But I would probably wait, if any of you listening haven't got, I don't know, let's make up a number, more than 1,000 YouTube subscribers, maybe more than 500. I wouldn't stress too much about like doing collaborations with others. I'd probably focus more on making tons of content, giving value, helping people, sharing it around wherever you can, doing lots of shorts to bring new people in. Another thing you can do is do TikTok. TikTok is... I'm on the fence about this one. So I guess I won't fully recommend TikTok. We have quite a few subscribers on TikTok. Some of the videos we've done, I've gotten ones that have gotten like 150,000 views, but that hasn't really brought anyone over to my YouTube channel or to my content. So I'm on the fence about TikTok. It seems more, at least from my point of view, like a platform where you can build up a shitload of likes and views and comments and stuff and subscribe or followers, but that doesn't translate to them coming and signing up for your coaching. So that's been my personal experience. But that said, because you're already making YouTube shorts, you can literally just mirror them and upload them straight onto TikTok with basically no effort. So if that's something you can be bothered doing, do it. At this point, or Imogen, I should say, at this point, sometimes uploads videos on TikTok. But yeah, that's completely up to you guys. I also did a video called this one here. It was Content Creation Starter Guide, and I also talked about if you're scared of negative criticism and hate. So I would go and watch this video. Anyone who wants to start doing some sort of content, whether it's a blog, whether it's YouTube, a podcast, whatever it might be, I would go and watch this video. It's on my channel. I give a lot of advice on how to start, how to help people, how to give value, all of that kind of stuff. I would go and read that. You can also read a couple of articles that I did. Let me see if I can find them. Okay, a couple of articles. It's a 3-part series called Musings of a Non-Completionist. And it's me basically talking about how I write and my process of writing and how I've built the blog up and now my YouTube channel, my Spotify. Like I go through all the details of how my mind works and how I've written articles, how I've come up with concepts, how I've made sure I can record those concepts. Like I write them down so I don't forget them. There's a second one here called Musings of a Non-Completionist 2, The Hustle. This is me talking about when I worked a full-time job, when I was working at a warehouse, and how I would write articles. And look at this, me literally saying, God, imagine if I could make just $1 from my site. Like, that's how I felt at the start. I didn't even think I could make $1, right? Like, that wasn't even the plan for the first year. I didn't even think about money. But, in this, I talk about how I managed to balance a full-time job that had a 3-hour commute, like 1.5 hours there in the morning, 1.5 hours back. So I really didn't have much free time in the day to write. And I talk about how I hustled, how I basically built all this coaching stuff up and my blog and all of that while working a full-time job and doing other bits and pieces as well. So that's a really useful article. And then number 3 is why I write for this website, like why I want to help people basically. So I would go and read those 3 articles. They give you a bit of an insight into the mindset of, me when I was making all of this stuff. But again, like I said, I grew by giving value above all else. Like, you really want to focus on that. Like, pour your heart and soul into every single video that you do, every blog article that you write, whatever it is, whatever content you're doing, coaching as well, pour everything into it. If you're just doing an entertainment YouTube channel, still pour everything into it. Whatever it is that you're doing, every single person that watches your content or reads it, aim to leave them better than you found them. Aim to make their life better. Even if it's just like entertainment content, aim to make them smile, aim to make their day just a little bit better. That above all else is what has helped me grow. And more importantly, that's what's built this community. We have a ridiculously loyal community. Like, this is a crazy loyal community. You guys are so unbelievably nice. You guys push each other like crazy. You guys, the men in the audience, you are ridiculously nice and honest to the women that you date. Any women listening, you all have like really positive mindsets when it comes to men and dating and stuff like that. This is a really good community. And a big part of how we've grown this big community is right from the very start, I always tried to be as vulnerable, as honest, and I've never been perfect with honesty. I make that very clear. When we're trying to be honest, we won't always necessarily be perfect, but we're doing our best. I've always tried to share myself as much as I humanly possibly can. I've always tried to be very open. I've tried to treat you guys and girls like we're on the same team, right? It's not me sitting here lecturing you. I open up when I'm struggling. I told you in this video several times, like, today is not a great day. I will be very on the same team as you guys and girls. So really opening up and being vulnerable like that builds a sense of like camaraderie. That builds a community. On top of that, I've also shared the challenging parts of my history, my depression, when I was suicidal for years, the first two were relationships that I was in that were not particularly happy, when I cheated on both of them in the past. I've opened up about going to jail. I've opened up about, what else? Moments where I was hopeless and convinced it wasn't going to work. All through 2020 and 2021, I opened up about how challenging the lockdowns were and how I fundamentally disagreed with what was happening from a libertarian point of view. I thought it was quite evil. At the time, I thought it was evil. Now I look back and I know everyone was just trying to do their bloody best. But, I was very open with all of that stuff. I've always been very open with that. Not perfect, obviously, but I've always tried to be as open as I possibly can. I try and talk about the direction of the channel. I try and share the direction of the coaching. I try and be as upfront with coaching. I tell you guys how much it is. It's $7,000 for 3 months. Like, I don't hide that. I don't have any marketing tools or any of that sort of stuff where I, make you have fear of missing out. Like, sign up for coaching now or you'll miss out. I do. Now, let's be clear. I do sometimes have promotions and I make the coaching a little cheaper because I need money to pay the fucking bills sometimes. But I'm honest about that. I make it very clear, like, hey, this is just until I sign up a few more people so I can pay the bills. I've tried to be as honest as I possibly can. And I'd recommend you guys and girls do the same thing because it builds a community. On top of that, other things you can do is you share in victories with people. Like, you'll notice that I say, these are not my victories, they're our victories. Or when we hit some milestone, I don't say, hey, my YouTube channel is 3,000 subscribers. No, I say, we have hit 3,000 subscribers. If you listen to the way I talk about Imogen and to Imogen when she's on the podcast, I say it's her and I, like, we have built this coaching. In fact, I will also include my coaching clients and say my coaching clients have helped build my coaching programs because they have. They've given me so much feedback. They help and mentor the other people in the coaching program. It's very much like a group dynamic. It's a community. Same as the forums, same as the podcast, same as everything. So I always say the words we. I share victories. I tell you guys and girls that I'm grateful. I bet if you search my channel, I'm going to search it right now actually because I'm curious. If you search on my YouTube channel, I guarantee you there'll be like, I'm going to guess 5 videos, and I bet you there'll be a couple of Spotify podcasts. If I just search for the word gratitude or grateful, let's just search for the word grateful. You'll see I've done videos where I literally say 1, 2, 3. Oh no, I only have 3. I've only done it 3 times. I'm a liar. I think I've done it on Spotify as well a couple of times, but I've done literal videos where I say, I'm grateful to you guys. Thank you. I've done videos where I'm grateful to the people that have helped me, like Cam, who's helped me build all of this stuff. He's a coach in my coaching program. Express your gratitude often as you possibly can to your community. And then it's very much you're building something great together. Like I said, share where you're going, like the pathway that you expect to go forward. Sometimes that won't map out. There's been plenty of things that I've promised or said that I would do that don't come to fruition or I'm still working on. A new approach anxiety program is one of those things, but you do your best and you share what you're going to do in the future, what you plan on doing. Another thing I would do is especially if you're a coach, but even if you're just a content creator, I would always see yourself as the student rather than the teacher. The second you start thinking of yourself as the expert, you lose touch with your audience, you stop being open to new information, and you stop learning and growing. So, you'll notice at the start of this podcast and in heaps of podcasts, I don't say, all right, this is how you got to start a business. This is how you got to start a YouTube channel. No, I will say, this is what worked for me. I'm not promising you this is the best way of doing it. There might be better ways of doing it. This is just what works for me. I did an article a while ago called, This is All Just a Big Experiment. Let me find it for you guys. And in this article, I basically said, all we're really doing here is mucking around and trying some things and seeing what works. And when I say here, I mean in life. That's all life is. We're just experimenting and trying things. I'm not ever going to tell you guys and girls that I have the best way of doing things or that everything I've done is perfect. No, hell no. I didn't. So here's this article. This is all just a big experiment. Go read that. It's on my website. I talk about, like I said, all we're doing is experimenting and seeing what works. And I've done a couple of podcasts there as well. I also have this article called You Should Be Better Than Your Idols. And I'm basically saying, look, I'm not perfect. I've never promised that I'm perfect. I'm not promising that what I'm doing is the perfect way of doing things and that you should follow in my footsteps. No. You can go way further than what I've done. You can expand upon what I've done. And in fact, I want you to. It would be a failure to launch if you didn't. You have all of the videos I've ever done. At this point, like 1,000 videos and podcasts. You have like another, 400, 500 articles. You have the massive free Tinder guide, which is really just a self-improvement guide. You have the how to get over your depression or how to, move past your depression or how I moved past my depression, series. You have the, how to make friends. I've just written so much content, how to go to the gym. I've got content on basically everything. I have a ton of relationship content at this point as well. So use all of that and go further than I've done. Be more efficient than I did, than I was. You don't have to make all the mistakes that I made because I've mapped them out for you. I've said, hey, here's everything that I think I could do better if I was to go and do it again. So now you get to skip all that stuff. So I'm never going to sit here and tell you guys that I'm the teacher or the expert. And if you can keep yourself to that same standard of humility in your content, or especially your coaching, especially your fucking coaching, god damn, you'll actually listen to your clients and your audience. But if you sit there and say that you're the expert, you'll just argue with everyone. And sometimes people will have amazing points. They might express them clumsily, especially in the YouTube comments. Sometimes they will say it really clumsily, but there might be a really, amazing point there. Basically, what I've found is every YouTube comment can teach me something. Even the ones that are just like, go kill yourself. I can still learn something from that if I go in and explore and dig it out. And it's like a diamond that needs polishing. But I can find some useful piece of information in everything that every commenter ever says. But if I say that I'm the expert and I sit there and argue with them, I learn nothing. And so if you can make yourself humble enough, and it is a practice, it takes practice. I'll tell you it takes practice. And don't expect to be perfect at it. Plenty of times you will argue with people and you go, why did I just argue with someone yet again? I told myself I wasn't going to do that. I argued for years. At this point, I don't argue anymore. I just say, hey, it's great that you think something different. Maybe you're actually correct. Cool. And then I move on, or I go into what they've said and I see if they're correct and I see if I can learn something. But you might not be perfect at that at the start. That's okay. But, especially in coaching, if any of you want to get into coaching, god damn, you really don't want to see yourself as the expert. I know that might sound contradictory. You're basically saying that you're the coach. Yeah, but don't be the coach who knows everything. Don't be the expert. Make it very clear. Put your hand up on day one and be like, hey, just so you know, I don't know everything, but I'm going to do my best to coach you. We're going to brainstorm, answers together. We're going to figure out how to solve all of your problems because every problem has a solution. I won't always have the solutions, but we'll figure it out. We'll do some Googling. We'll do some trial and error. We'll work out what to do. There's been so many points in my coaching where I thought I knew what the answer was, and I pushed that answer on the client. I'm talking, in the early days of my coaching, I would push that answer on the client. They would follow my advice and try it, and they would try it multiple times, and it just wouldn't work for them. And in my brain, because I was the expert, I would double down on it. And I say, you're not doing it properly. Come on, you got to try harder. Why isn't this working? You're doing something wrong. And I would push them. And I had one particular client who we had this moment where he basically said, I can't do this. Like, I'm not this person. I can't do this stuff that you want me to do or that you're recommending I do. I can't do it. And I remember sitting there on the call with him. It was a very sort of intimate call. We both sat there in silence for a bit. And I remember thinking, like, I think if I push him, he just leaves coaching and maybe he doesn't change his life. I mean, he might. I'm not going to say that I'm the most special coach on the planet. He might just go and get coaching with someone else. But this is like a crossroads where if I push him again, he's probably going to leave. And in that moment, I had to humble myself and say, maybe I don't know what's best for him. Maybe all I'm doing is recommending things, listening to him, trying to care about him, trying to help him, trying to get him to help himself. Maybe I'm just here as a sounding board so that he can bounce ideas off me and have someone that is his biggest cheerleader and will say, like, you can do it. Maybe I'm all of those things. Maybe I don't have to be the expert who has the answer every single fucking time. Now, a lot of the time, you might have some great answers, of course. I'm not saying you know nothing, but I'm saying don't see yourself as perfect. Don't see yourself as like the expert, who has the correct answer all of the time, because there will be moments when your clients need you to just say, look, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. We're going to figure it out. I know that there's an answer. We'll fucking figure it out together. But I don't know what the answer is right now. They need that honesty. They need that humility. Because if you pretend to be the expert or you try and you tell yourself you have to be the expert, you'll just bullshit an answer and you'll make something up that isn't actually useful. It's so much more useful to say, I don't know, let's figure it out. And I've said that to so many coaching clients. I've said, oh, I don't know, actually. Let's Google it and find out. Or I will say, oh man, I'm not sure. It could be this. Maybe it could be that. It could be this. Why don't we just try all three of them one after the other and see which one works for you? And that's another point to be made. If you're a coach or a content creator or you're trying to help people, even if you're just trying to mentor other people, what worked for you won't necessarily work for someone else. Like, you might have to try something completely different. You might have to tweak it a little bit. You might have to do something that's close to what you did, but 10% different. You might have to do what you did plus something else. Someone else's advice might be better than your advice. And that can be very humbling, and your ego might want to fight that. Your ego might want to say, no, I'm the expert, I know what I'm talking about, because you're worried that people will say that you're not an expert. You're worried that people will say you don't know what you're talking about. You're worried about being exposed as a fraud. I was incredibly terrified of that. There are still moments in time where I do worry, fuck, am I a fraud? Is everything I'm saying on this channel just bullshit? But that's why I embrace the honesty to look you in the I guess I'm looking the camera in the eyes, aren't I? Look you in the eyes and say, I don't know everything. How could I know everything? I'm just a dude. I'm just some fucking guy, right? I don't know everything. I'm just trying my best to help you. I'm telling you the things that worked for me, or that I believe worked for me. I'm trying to help you down this path. But that's why a lot of the time I will say you need to go out and try, forge your own pathway, try your own things, experiment, find out the answers for you. I don't have all the answers. I'm not God. I'm not going to sit here and just, you come up to me and say, should I break up with this girl? And I go, yes, you should. How the fuck should I know? How the fuck should I know? I'm not you. I'm not in your head. I'm not in her head. I don't know what you want. I don't know what she wants. How can I know? But I can sit there and talk to you and talk you through it and offer some perspective and talk about what's helped me. And I can listen to you. And if you see yourself as the expert, you won't listen. And listening is probably 95% of coaching, honestly. Especially at this point, now that I've been doing coaching for a few years, and I guess you can say I've been helping and mentoring people for, 5 or 6 years, listening is 95% of it. And I can tell you what most people are coming to me for. Even the people that signed, we got a guy that signed up 2 months ago or a month ago for the $50,000 coaching, the hardcore, work with me, one-on-one coaching. Even this guy, even guys that pay me that much money, you think they're coming to me to make $1 million or to sleep with X number of women or to get a girlfriend or to have a wife and kids or to build something amazing or to lose all this weight. You think that's what they're coming to me for. They think that's what they're coming to me for. But I'm telling you, I can pretty much just say every single coaching client comes to you to hear this sentence. Everything is okay. Everything will be okay. That's what they're coming to you for coaching for. They don't realize that. You might take several years to realize that. I've probably just given you a gold fucking nugget right there. Maybe I should make that its own video. I probably should. Let me make a note, actually. I want to write that down and do a video on that. But that's why you watch my channel. You watch my channel for me to tell you everything will be okay. Even if it doesn't feel like it's okay right now, it will be. You're allowed to change your life. You're capable of changing your life. You will change your life. That's what you're coming to me to hear. That's what you're going to every self-improvement person to hear. I'm sitting here telling you right now, everything will be okay. And so if you realize that that's what your coaching clients are coming to you for, you can focus on giving them that. And you don't just say everything's okay, although sometimes I do say that. And sometimes I don't just say it, I will get them to answer the question. That's another coaching tip I can give you. Get your coaching clients, it's almost like Inception. You put the idea in their head, but they need to be the one that actually says it. And so I don't always tell them everything will be okay. I will get them to show themselves that everything is okay. There are a million different techniques of how I do that. One of them is I get them to run through what I call the worst case scenario. So if they're worried about like, what if this girl cheats on me? I will go, okay, let's play that out. Imagine she cheats on you. What will you do next? And I get them to just keep going through that. They'll be like, well, I'll sit there and I'll cry and I'll be heartbroken and I'll never trust any woman ever again. Okay, then what will you do next? And we just keep playing that out until eventually they get to a point where they realize, I guess I'd just get on with my life. Yeah. So would you be okay? And they go, holy shit, I would. I'd probably grieve for a while. It might take me a couple of years to trust women again, but yeah, I think I'd be okay. Boom. I've just put it in your head that everything will be okay. So there's a bunch of different techniques of how you can get someone to realize that everything will be okay. You obviously give them techniques on meditating, doing the work, the Byron Katie work, where you question your limiting beliefs and your stories and the stuff that's hurting you. Stoicism is another really good way of seeing that everything will be okay. Nihilism, funnily enough, is a good way of getting people to realize everything is okay. When they're stressed about something, they're like, my boss is mean to me. Sometimes I'll just say, in 50 years, you'll be fucking dead. And I'll just let that sit there for a little bit. And they'll be like, yeah, fuck. Why do I care that my boss is a dick to me? Fuck. I've only got one life. Yeah, why am I getting upset over this? It's like, yeah. There's a million other techniques. A really good book on this is You Can't Afford the Luxury of a Negative Thought. That just has like actual techniques on how to deal with negative thoughts. And you're essentially getting people or getting yourself to realize that everything will be okay. So that's probably another really, really, really big gold nugget that I can give you. Like I said, is tell your clients or get them to show themselves that everything will be okay. That's why they're coming to you. That's why your YouTube audience is coming to you. They're coming to you to see that everything will be okay. So that's a freaking big one. Use words like we and us all the time in your content rather than me or I. That's just building a community. So you'll notice that I say we, we, this audience, we in the YouTube comments. Like I will talk like it's a community. I won't say like my YouTube audience. I'll say like our YouTube audience, especially the forums. I don't say like my forums. They're not even my forums really. I don't use them. They're Cam's forums. They're your guys' forums. They're our forums. Like you guys have used the forums. You guys have built the forums. So I will, as much as I possibly can, use the words we and us. That really helps build a community. That didn't just come from me. I don't know where I learned that actually. Somebody must have told me. It was something that I did in some of my early jobs when I was a manager. I would always use the words we. Yeah, I must have got it from one of those jobs where they said like, we're a team. Like this is a team community. Like, we make sure we use the words we. When you're a boss, don't just say like you need to do this. Say we need to do this. And so I really fully embraced that. And when I did that, I was like, holy shit, people actually want to do the things that I tell them. Like they're excited to. Like because it's a we thing, we're building. And I would share with them. And, I've done videos on how you can be a really good manager. I don't know that that's relevant to any of this. If you guys are interested in that video, leave a comment and I can tell you which video it is. But I don't think it's super relevant to coaching. But yeah, that's a separate discussion. But that's probably where I learned it. And then somewhere else is a guy called Pat Flynn from Smart Passive Income. He's someone else actually who's really, really, really positive. He does a lot of videos and blog articles and podcasts on how to build an audience, how to grow a community, how to make money as well, how to do marketing. But his marketing is very similar to mine. It's just give people an insane amount of value and they will want to be part of your community. He's like the king of giving value and being very organic and being very honest. He's just such a like really lovely guy. He's adorable. He's like a little teddy bear. He's like fucking nice. He's just like the king of a nice dude. And so, I would follow in the footsteps of that. And that's probably where I got that from, because he talks all the time about using we and us and like this community and us and all of that sort of stuff. So focus on that rather than you being like almost the dictator who just like talks at people. No. You're talking with people. So I'll drill it in again. Final thing is really, really, really above all else, give value. Probably the only thing that, I won't say the only thing, is that it's head and shoulders above everything else that I've said here today. Give as much value as you possibly can. It's the only reason that people give you money. Money is an exchange of value. You've given me value, or you're going to give me value. Here's some money. That's what money fucking is. It's an exchange of value between two people. It's a banknote for value. And so focus on that value. Focus on helping people. That's all I've ever really done. Like I said, probably for the first 2 years of my blog, I didn't even think about money. Like maybe a year into it, I had a thought of it would be amazing if I could make $1. But I didn't really take that seriously until maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I can't fully remember the timeline, but it was a long time after I'd already been writing. I just wasn't thinking about money. And even when I sit down to do a video like this, yes, the more content I do, the more people are going to move towards my coaching. So obviously it has that benefit, but I don't sit down thinking, how can I convince these motherfuckers to sign up for coaching today? No, it's how can I change someone's life? How can I give something really valuable? How can I share what I've learned and what people have given to me? How can I just give that back? How can I pay it forward? Because people have given me a hell of a lot, Good Looking Loser, Mark Manson, Caleb Jones, all the books I've read, Byron Katie, like I could, my family, Cam, Radical, all my moderators on my forums, like some of my coaching clients, Ed, Ravi, a bunch of other people, I could go on for hours and hours and hours of the people who've given to me. And so I'm just kind of paying it forward. So you sit down and you focus on that when you do content or, especially coaching. Even if you're just doing entertainment, think of all the people who've entertained you. Think of movies, think of Hollywood, think of like American TV, think of Netflix, think of YouTube content creators, think of Twitch streamers, think of video game, developers, whoever's entertained you in whatever possible way that might be. Think about them and how much you're grateful for the entertainment that they've given you. And then you pour that same love, you pay it forward in your content. You go, I could be that for someone else. Even if I'm just doing a funny, silly video, even if I'm just a Twitch streamer, I actually really like Twitch streamers and YouTubers, but if I'm a Twitch streamer, I'm just playing video games and talking. I use the word just there again. I really don't mean the word just there. But if I am sitting down and just doing video game content, I'm going to pour everything I can into that. Because lots of people sit there and watch that content, that entertainment content. Yes, some people watch it mindlessly, but a lot of people, it's like very comforting for them. It gets them through a tough time. I know that especially YouTube really got me through some of my deepest depressions. Anime did too when I was much younger, and I'll always be really grateful for that. So do video games. Video games absolutely got me through a lot of dark periods, and so you can give that same gift to someone else. So pour as much value or as much, I guess you could say love, if you don't want to use the word value. Pour as much love, as much care, as much passion, energy, whatever you want to call it, into your content. Share yourself as much as you possibly can. Be as personable as you possibly can, as much as you're willing to. I would push yourself, if you want to, I'd push yourself beyond your boundaries and share more than you're comfortable with, and you slowly get comfortable with it. It was really terrifying for me, sharing my sex life, sharing my depression. God damn, that was challenging. Sharing that I went to prison, sharing all of the stuff that I've shared. There's nude pictures of me on my website, for God's sakes. Like, sharing all of that stuff was absolutely terrifying, but I knew that I wanted to sort of put it all out there so that I can inspire others to live a life in the spotlight. Not the spotlight, live a life in the sunlight, I guess, and not be hiding in a cave, ashamed of who you are, ashamed of the things that you care about, ashamed of your passions, all of that kind of stuff. So Share yourself as much as you possibly can. You will inspire others. Definitely, if you haven't already, share your transformation story. Because all of you are going to have a transformation story or something you've overcome or something you've improved at. Share that shit. Like, for me especially, my transformation article on my website is probably I think it's the second most viewed piece of content. I think it goes, the Tinder guide is the one that people look at the most, then the transformation story, and then the depression article, and then just, other random articles and stuff like that. But the transformation story is one of the big, that's inspired a lot of people because you're giving your story. And some of my coaching clients, when they've shared their transformation story, I know Ed is a really good example. The interview I did with him where he talks about all the stuff he's overcome, that's inspired tons of people. I've had so many emails from people, and I love sharing them with Ed. I've had people that say, damn, this interview with Ed, really freaking helped. So share as much of yourself as you possibly can. Value, value, value. Give value. If you took nothing else away from this video, give value. And that doesn't just apply to content or to coaching or to any of that. No matter what you're doing in life, give as much value as you possibly can. Now watch this amazing segue. If you would like even more value, you can sign up for my coaching programs. I will leave a link in the description below to those. Obviously, like I said, I give as much value as I possibly can in those. Everything I've shared here, we go even more balls deep in those. If you're wanting to start a coaching business or something like that, I would love to help you with that. Like I said, we've had 5 or so people start a business at this point. I want to get more into that, coaching people on business, on money, on financial freedom. That's something I care very much deeply about. If you are looking to get into a relationship or something like that, I would love to coach you on that. I've done couples, I guess you'd say coaching with Imogen, where she and I will coach a couple. We love sitting down and doing that. That's amazing. So if that's something you'd like to do, I'd love to do that with you, or we would love to do that with you. If it's just having a ton of sex, if it's having a better sex life, if it's being more honest and open and vulnerable with women that you date or sleep with or marry, whatever it is that you want, would love to help you with that. Obviously, I have my friend Cam as a coach in the program alongside me. We would love to kick your ass into gear. So link in the description below to that. As always, go out there and crush your goals and give value.